In this video, I'm going to give you 5 easy techniques for weathering props. And weathering can make all the difference between a prop looking out of place or totally in universe. So let's get started. Technique number 5 in my countdown to easy ways to weather is using acrylic paints like these to create a wash. Now, washing is a really simple technique to get dirt into all those little creases and crevices that you have in your prop. All you're going to do is take a paint color like this, typically a dark one like this dark brown or a black. You're going to put that paint with some water in a little jar like this, and you're going to paint everything on your prop. Then what you're going to do is when that paint gets into all those creases and those crevices, you're going to rub off the paint with a sponge or with a cloth. So what you're doing is leaving the dirt in the deep parts of your prop and you're cleaning it off the higher parts. And that is going to make your prop look like it's aged and it has a little bit more texture and depth to it. Number 4 on my countdown list is dry brushing. Now, dry brushing can be a little bit confusing to people because it implies that the brush is completely dry. And that's almost true. What it refers to is taking a paint and getting it to the point where there's hardly any left on the brush. But what you're going to be doing is rubbing that paint into certain areas to create a particular effect. It could be rust, it could be dirt, and often you're going to do it with multiple colors. You can see a perfect example of this on this Mad Max prop that I built here. On these edges, you're going to see some stippling effect with dry brushing. In fact, all over this. This was originally painted silver, and then to age it down, you'll see I've used brown here, which makes it look like rust, and then I've used black here, which makes it kind of look like oil and other things. Again, you'll see it here on these tubes to make them look dirty. And even on parts of this leather. Dry brushing is my favorite go-to, and when combined really well with a wash, dabbing that wash off and then dry brushing after it's dried, you can create really effective used looks like you can with this prop. Number 3 is using pens like these to create a metallic chipped effect. So my absolute go-to is this liquid chrome pen, because when you use this, it literally looks like metal is showing through the paintwork. And what you're going to do with this pen is you're going to find the high spots, the parts of the prop that, if it was really metal, the paint would get rubbed off through use or through abuse. You're going to find those areas and then you're going to paint this on. And you can see this being used here on the Proton Pack. I've used it to look like areas of this are metal, like the weld marks, or on corners where it might get scuffed up. My other go-to technique, which fits perfectly with the pens, is rub and buff. So again, when you're looking for something to look like it's aged or worn down and the metal is showing through, rub and buff is amazing. You just put a little bit of this on your finger or on a cloth and you rub it onto the areas you want to make look metallic. This works brilliantly in so many scenarios and situations. It's my absolute favorite thing. Combined with this to make chipped paint and this to make it look like metal is wearing through, that is my number 3 on the list of things to do. Number 2 on my list is literally weathering your prop, and you're going to do that with a sanding block or with a little file or maybe even with a wire brush, and you're going to sand that prop down. You're going to take edges off it, you're going to scuff it up, and that works perfectly for areas like, again, this on this prop. You'll see here with the leather, I took sandpaper literally to this and just started sanding it to make it look old. The same with these taped areas. You see where this gaffer tape or this camo tape has been put on here. If you just use regular tape on here and don't sand it up, it is not going to look used and abused. I did the same thing here on this Neutrona wand. I took these edges and wrapped tape around them and then sandpapered them. It's also really important for straps or material or other things that are made of cloth. If you want them to look distressed and old, like I did here with my Proton Pack, it's a super important and valuable way to make things look like they're old. Now, my final tip in the countdown, number 1, is this stuff: weathering clay, or Fuller's Earth. This is an often missed step when it comes to weathering and is super easy. Basically, you take a brush or a cloth, you cover it in this clay, and you work it into all the places and the gaps. Most things that are old, used and abused will collect dust in all the little crevices and corners. Adding a layer of this to your prop will make it look real, make it look used and make it look old. And this, super easy to get hold of and very, very easy to use. Now you have 5 easy ways to make your prop look real and in universe. And if you like making props, which I know you do because you're watching this video, you're going to want to check out one of these 2 videos, both of which are about making props. And you'll see me using these weathering techniques in the real world, or in the wild. Yep, just click on one of them. I'd click on this one if I were you. Do it. You know you want to.